I'm glad you got there right on the line.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Rob. I was pretty happy too that he got to the line and we got there first. So, yeah, he had a perfect run. So, and he really knuckled down. There's a bit of a headstrong wind out there. So, yeah, he did well.
He's been racing well. I know his figure form doesn't read anything flash, but he's been racing against some pretty nice horses and drawing badly. Like his last 4 starts, he's drawn outside the front row twice and the second row, back row a couple of times as well.
Yeah, he hasn't had the most luck with the barrier draws, unfortunately, and he's got a bit of gate speed, but when he's drawn out so wide, it's a bit harder when you've got horses with a fair bit more gate speed inside you. So he hasn't had the most fortunate runs either, but luckily tonight he had the right run.
Once you were able to find the lead, you pretty much controlled the tempo up in front, and she did the job and came away for a good win.
Yeah, that's right, Rob. Kochi was pretty upbeat about the mare's chances leading into this. I think she's got quite a good future. So, yeah, once she was able to, hold any challenges from out wide and work her way to the front, that she was always in control of things and, going to take a lot of catching.
Well, Delightful Mare who drew inside you, we know is a very quick beginner. I think last time you exposed her by following out and getting across her to lead, and you pretty much applied similar tactics tonight from the front row.
Yeah, that's right. She's obviously a very high speedy sort of mare and always looks to take a sit, so I was pretty happy when it was the one drawn inside us, so I always knew if I could hold off any challenges out wide that the front would be there for us, and that's exactly the way it eventuated.
To the horse's credit, he showed his class.
Yeah, for sure, Rob. He was fantastic tonight. Really happy with him last week, and just knew that second up he'd show a lot of improvement fitness-wise, and had to sustain a long run, but it was a controlled tempo, and he just proved to be too good in the end. He's
a new addition to the stable. He did make the final of the Breeders' Crown last year was when he finished unplaced. He was runner-up in the semi-final behind Demon Delight. So he's certainly proven to have above-average ability. And what's the plans for him, and how far do you think this horse can go?
Yeah, for sure. He raced in really good company last year against a couple of our horses as well, Malcolm's Rhythm and Max Delight, and they were all in company with Lockin' for Art, who's now the best horse going around. So his form lines from last year as a 3-year-old were really good. Now we just look to get some runs under his belt and head towards the 4-year-old Breeders' Crown and 4-year-old Vic Breds later on in the year.
Really happy with the way he drove tonight. He seemed to be pretty much under control the way you wanted to control him.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. It's a credit to Amanda and the team. They just do a great job with their horses. And this week he was a bit more relaxed, and a couple of little gear changes with the ear hood going on, just batting him down a little bit. And he was just in second gear tonight.
Yeah, it looked that way, and sometimes you get a little bit worried when they've been pulling in races, and tonight he looked a lot more controlled in his ferocity, and sometimes you always wonder when you ask him that he responds, but you look to have that race won a long way from home.
Yeah, I just whistled him up around the turn, Rob, and he was often on his merry way, but he's just a class horse, and he's got so much upside to him. He's got a big future.
Obviously the favourite did a little bit of work to get to the lead. He was challenged by the stablemate Sir Letting. What were your thoughts around the 400 metre mark? Did you feel like you were travelling strong enough to be a strong winning point at that stage?
Yeah, it was a funny race. I sort of thought we might just try and roll forward early and get up in the first couple, but there was a bit too much speed on, so we ended up back last, and thought we got a nice trail up on 40 Thieves, and then Sir Letting came out and put the foot down and got a big giant break on us, and Fred was still travelling really well, but looked up and we were like 20 behind and thought it was going to be a bit hard, and I thought, he's going to run past these and get third, and then as we straightened, the 2 leaders hit the brick wall and he was still full of running, and we had him covered pretty quick.
A big thrill for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what a night. It's been great. And yeah, just so happy for the horse. She's come a long way in our stable. She was a bit cranky, but now she's pretty good. So, you know, it's good.
Tell us how she came about joining your stable. How long have you had the horse under your care?
Yeah, Lauriston have been good to us, and they've given us a couple since I've been down here. And they just said, would you like to give her a go? We were going to try and flush an egg out of her and give her a crack at these races. And yeah, we'd love to have a go at her. And yeah, they just dropped her off, and she's been there probably about 6 weeks, a bit longer. And yeah, every time you take her out, she just gets happier. And yeah, she's just sort of probably in season 2 helps a lot. But yeah, she's just been good.
Greg, it looked like you were set for a big win. I got a little bit worried when he hit the front. I didn't think he wanted to run away from the opposition there for a few strides.
Yeah, that's a fair statement, but probably give credit to the leader. He just said it was very brave in defeat, but when I angled to the inside, I thought I was going straight on by quite comfortably, but it was in for the fight for sure, and you know, it's a pretty slick last half to 27 and a half quarters. So yeah, nothing wrong with the performance of my fella, and I think just full credit to the leader who had a never say die attitude.
And got the job done for you, Kate. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, he loves leading. He's probably won, I think, 9 out of his 10 races have all been in front. So, yeah, it's not surprising tonight that he got the job done.
No, it looked a good race for Explicit Castle. It just came down to the question whether he'd get to the front without too much trouble, and he was able to do that. You pushed the issue there for that first few hundred metres, but once you found the top, it was controlled by you, and the horse responded as we know he does.
Yeah, that's right. He sometimes doesn't get out the gate as good as other times, but tonight he got out pretty good, and I thought this was a really good race where if he led, he'd be super hard to beat, and it panned out that way.
You know he's got a good big sprint on him, and that's what he produced.
Yeah, it sort of race didn't turn out as quick as what we'd hoped, and he was last sort of at the 400, but he did finish off really well.
He did. He's a horse that's always had ability, and I would imagine the stable targeted a horse of his calibre for this type of series, the Battle of the Claimers.
Yeah, he was with Caldos, and they did a really good job with him, and then Dean's had him for... I think he got him like about 10 months ago, and it's just taken a while for him to come good, and yeah, tonight he was right on track.
Been a great night in the office for you.
Yeah, it sure has. Yeah, it all sort of went to plan when it needed to tonight, and topped off really well with a nice performance by Bopper Jet, and Kima's done a super job, as we mentioned earlier in the night, with this horse, and tonight was no exception.
Tonight, you seem to have the race in your control. Do you ever worry when you're travelling so well, sometimes that you're about to pop the question and the horse doesn't respond? Does it happen to you at different stages?
It does, and yeah, he was a bit different. It's the first time since I've driven him that I've been able to find the front, and he's been a bit of a revvy horse, and at times, and he's just sort of starting to learn to relax. And he was actually quite casual in front, and hence the pretty slow third quarter. I'd actually tried to get rolling a little bit, but while he was by himself, he was pretty casual until Karen got up near us, and then he dashed up quite well, obviously up the straight. But sometimes by having them that relaxed and going that casual, that you allow the others to get closer than what they probably should have.